Human trafficking, two words that should send chills down your spine. But the terrifying truth is this crisis is happening closer to home than you think. I'm Theo Shaft, and today on Twisted News, we're diving into one of the darkest corners of our society, modern-day slavery. The numbers will shock you, the stories will haunt you, and if you think it's only happening in far-off countries, you're in for a rude awakening. Stay tuned. Share your story in the comments below if you've experienced or witnessed trafficking. Your voice could make a life-saving difference. Welcome back to Twisted News, where we don't sugarcoat the world's ugliest truths. I'm Theo Shaft, and today, we're tackling an issue that should have everyone outraged: human trafficking. It is a hidden crisis that is devastating lives around the globe, and yes, it's happening right here in the United States. The mainstream media might touch on it, but they don't tell the whole story. That's what we do here. So buckle up, folks. This one's twisted. Let's start with the facts. According to the International Labor Organization, over 40 million people worldwide are victims of human trafficking. Yeah, you heard me, 40 million. That's more people than the entire state of California, New York, and Florida population combined. And in the United States, the National Human Trafficking Hotline received over 11,000 cases of trafficking reports in 2022. But here's the kicker: these numbers only represent a fraction of the problem. Experts estimate that for every victim rescued, 20 go unidentified. These traffickers are operating in the shadows, preying on the most vulnerable. So how do traffickers find their victims? It's not always the back alley kidnapping scenario you see in movies. Traffickers are using social media to lure in young, vulnerable people, promising jobs, relationships, and opportunities that don't exist. Women and children make up 71% of trafficking victims, but men and boys are increasingly being targeted for forced labor, especially in industries like agriculture, construction, and domestic work. Traffickers prey on vulnerability: runaways, foster kids, people in poverty, and even those just scrolling through Instagram. A friendly message can quickly turn into a nightmare. But here's the twisted part: it's not happening in faraway countries. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar industry operating right here in the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security reported that in 2022, human trafficking generated $150 billion globally, with the United States being one of the most prominent destinations for trafficked individuals. Whether it's forced labor, domestic servitude, or sex trafficking, it's happening under our noses. Hotels, construction sites, nail salons, even your local farm. Trafficking is everywhere, but it's so well hidden that most people never see it. Now let's get personal. These are the stories that keep me up at night. Meet Elena, a 15-year-old girl from Texas who thought she was heading to a job interview. Instead, she was trafficked across state lines and forced into the sex trade for 2 years before she escaped. Or Jacob, a man from South Carolina who was trafficked into forced labor and kept in a cycle of debt bondage for over 5 years. These survivors are the lucky ones. They lived to tell their stories. But countless others are still trapped and waiting for a way out. There are heroes out there on the front lines fighting this epidemic. Organizations like Polaris, the National Human Trafficking Hotline, and the International Justice Mission is working to rescue victims and prosecute traffickers. But more resources, awareness, and action are needed. So, what can you do? First, educate yourself on the signs of trafficking. Things like someone avoiding eye contact, not being in control of their own ID or travel documents, or seeming fearful and anxious. Second, support anti-trafficking organizations with donations or volunteer work. And most importantly, speak up. If you see something suspicious, report it. Don't stay silent. Human trafficking isn't a distant issue. It's right here, right now, and it's on all of us to stop it. The media might glance over it, but here at Twisted News, we will keep shining a light on the darkest corners of this crisis. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay informed on issues. Leave a comment if you've witnessed or been affected by trafficking. Your story could save lives. And most importantly, share this video. Together, we can spread awareness and make a difference. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay twisted.